doing the thing. Stuff's happening. Better or worse, we're here. We're doing it. I might manage to get somewhere. I might not. I'm just gonna reload at the library, though, because after walking into the Tower of Storms, I realized I'm still not really ready. Unfortunately. Is I walked in there and immediately was confronted with things that just tore me apart. So, I'm gonna go back to the ruins one more time. We definitely need at least a bit more magic on hand. I do have new spells now. Went out of my way to get us some new spells. The spells I got were by accident. They were very fortunate accidents in terms of I was just throwing gems in the pile and hoping it worked out, and these are the spells that came out. These birds are the problem. They shoot through walls, they hit really hard, and they're immune to wind. Which, the problem with them being immune to wind is my primary attack spells up till now have been wind spells. And, unfortunately, this sword that I'm using... I'll just quickly switch back to this so you get the idea. You'll notice it increases my wind attribute. That's because this sword is also wind. So it is ineffective against the things that are immune to wind, like those birdmen. It's fantastic against these hellhounds, though, so we can literally just sit here and step in, step out, step in, step out, and just gather piles of Phoenix gems and restore my magic via killing. Is the biggest misfortune from having to roll back from having access to the shop to being over here is we no longer have that stockpile of magic restoring items that I bought. Because I cannot get to a shop anymore. So I'm currently reliant on these werewolves dropping magic crystals. Which they do drop them with a reasonable consistency, and at this point, I can kill them pretty easy. Just a couple hits of the sword, or one thunder strike, and then a sword strike, and that's the end of the werewolf. So thunder is definitely a much more powerful spell than what we've been using up till now. Problem is, even though it originated from a light gem, thunder apparently does wind damage, so it too does nothing to the birds. Or at least, it appeared to do nothing. I can't guarantee that one because they're a little hard to see. Considering they stay real far back unless you actively go in on them, which tends to end badly for you. But thankfully, we've got 3 things that are basically a non-threat that we can just farm in this doorway here. Gotta watch out for arrows through the wall there. Come on, come get me. I'm probably gonna just loop this till I either hit 29 or 30, or I get full mana, whichever happens first. Which, at the rate things are going, full mana is almost certainly going to happen first. And at that point, I will try again to be able to get through the Tower of Storms. And we'll just hope that I can actually tackle it at that point. Because, sure, I could just run through and get to the boss just fine. But if I can hardly handle the tower, I certainly am not likely to be able to handle the boss. Because if none of my spells work on the enemies below it, I would be more than willing to bet that I wouldn't be able to hurt the boss with them either. And while I do have a spell I can guaranteed hurt it with, it's not exactly efficient. It takes a lot of mana, and it's a real slow cast. But judging from the way we're leveling off of these enemies, I'm willing to bet, because of the way I've been playing this, we've just been way behind. Which is why just a little bit of catch-up's in order. Once we're high enough level to actually cast some of these things more consistently and just have more health to endure the tower with better, we should be able to pull it off. Because considering each of these hellhounds is 800. That's not actually going to take that many loops. Especially when you take into account the fact that I'm killing the werewolf, too. Who is worth... Once he stands still enough for me to kill him... About 600. Actually, no, I think he was about... No, because we were 200 over 5,000, so they're both worth 800. So I'm getting about 2,400 each loop. So, like, 2 more loops and I'll have... of the next level. Thing is, if I'm getting it that quickly, it might be worth my while to go past 30 then. And just to demonstrate the sheer power of thunder there, just 2 shots and the werewolf is done. And considering he managed to damage me, it might be a good idea to just sit there and stab both wolves, thunder or the werewolf, repeat, for efficiency's sake. Because I think I'm getting enough MP back to mostly do that for free. Actually, do I have... Yeah, I do have the Clarity Ring on. Okay. Since that gets me mana back faster and makes my spells charge faster, I wanted to make sure I was on the right track with that. This also does mean we can make some more spells, because we'll have lots of fire gems and water gems to mess around with. And now, having proven how the spellmaking works, I think I can consistently get us spells we might actually want. Aside from level's still shaky, but I can at least make sure we get the right element. And I've got a decent idea of how getting the level to line up works, but it's still a bit random and finicky. Yeah, considering in just another, like, 3 loops I'll gain yet another level, it's probably worth my while to do so. Considering this is a very fast loop. I know it's not the most exciting thing to watch, but it's going to make getting through the future areas a lot less of an issue. For sake of argument, though, I'm going to show off how Fiery Avenger looks. Because it's a really cool looking spell, even if it's horrendously inefficient in terms of its casting. Because it stops the enemy in place and strikes them repeatedly with giant fiery swords. But as you can see, the werewolf doesn't die to that. So it's a bit of a problem for how much it costs. And of course it leaves us open to getting shot by the archer on the other side of the wall there. Not ideal. What's also not ideal is the way this werewolf's not dropping any magic crystals this time. Of course, I mentioned it, so now it just ceases to exist. That's the other thing, is Thunder just sometimes kind of misses. Not really sure what's going on with that. I can only assume it's a matter of there's a very narrow attack on that, so if they're moving, they just sometimes get just out of the angle. But there's level 31. I wouldn't be surprised if the intent was for a player to be like 40 or so by now. Oh, judging from the growth rate. But at the rate the rest of this game went, I don't think we need to be 40. I was really hoping to have farmed up some more restorative items, so I didn't have to keep switching to Earth Heal in order to be able to stay alive. But that looks to not be the way this is going to go, without spending an inordinate amount of time on this. That said, before we go to the Tower of Storms, I'm going to go back into the ruins one more time, but I'm not going to do the loop again. I'm going to run back to the other side. Oh, wait, I'm a fool. I have a much easier way to get to the other side of the ruins. Much quicker. Because there's a teleport pad down here that takes you back to the Magic Lab, which is on the other side of the ruins. I can then walk into the side I want to be on and deal with some undead soldiers. Said undead soldiers drop golden fruit, which is the second tier of healing item. Actually, no, third tier healing item. So we definitely want some of those. Basically, I'm going to walk back and forth again from that side for a little bit. Get, hopefully, a couple golden fruit. If we get nothing after the first few, I'm not going to waste everyone's time sitting there bashing away at that. I had intended to grind it up during the night last night, but that just didn't happen. Yeah, that's the hole we fell into here from. That's also the hole I tried to fall back into yesterday in order to get back here from where we got teleported to off the other pad. And unfortunately, it led to us dying when we tried to drop down there. Which means there's no way back that I could find. Which is how the rollback ended up happening. Now, with a little luck, and a lot more grinding... Wait. Oh boy, I just dropped a shitload of frames there for a moment. Huh, that's not great. Hopefully that doesn't continue. If it does, that's just gonna mean today gets cancelled and I do more grinding to guarantee tomorrow the game gets finished. And just a few stabs and these guys go down. They're not really a threat to be concerned about, as long as you have your timing down. Which is funny, considering I ran for my life through here the first time I was here, because I genuinely expected all of this to be really dangerous. Turned out, not a lot of this is that bad, right, once you're properly equipped. And the sword I'm using was literally just on that raised up piece of ground right there to the right of where we're fighting right now. Didn't see it the first time I went through here because I was too focused on what was trying to kill me. Which, you know, makes sense. You'd be pretty focused on the things trying to kill you. But you'll notice this is upraised a little bit. There was just a sword sticking straight up out of this floor here. And that's how you get the hunting sword. which it is slow. Ow. Best part about Thunder is it's a fast recharge. There we go, magic crystal. Even one magic crystal will be a huge benefit towards us getting the tower done. Because if I run out of magic fighting the tower boss, I don't think we can even hurt it with a sword. I don't think it ever positions itself in such a way that you can attack it face to face. I didn't live long enough against it the first time to really be able to tell. And don't get me wrong, I'm 100% gonna test lightning on it straight away. If lightning works, that's what we're gonna go with for that fight. Instead of Fiery Avenger. Either that or I'll cast Fiery Avenger once to hold him still and then spam lightning. If it'll let me do that. His lightning does decent enough damage, judging from what it does to the werewolves. And of course, Fiery Avenger will hold the beast in place, making it much easier to deal with. Of course, this golden fruit will take some of the burden off of our magic, so I have more magic to throw at it. And if we happen to get a few more levels in the process of getting these restorative items, so be it. There we go. That's the drop rate I needed. So let's see, we're, I think, at 2 of both. 3 of both. That's even better. Hey, Eigen. Doing alright so far. Just farming up what I'm gonna need to deal with the boss of this area. As it went from being really straightforward to really spooky, really fast. How's Elden Ring been treating you? Could not words for a second there. Ow. Yeah, that's how you gotta do it for some of that. I'm dodging through these parts because of the fact that those archers exist. If I stand still, I'm just gonna get shot, and that's just not gonna help our cause at all. Okay, 32 and 3 of each healing item should be good enough. I've not dealt with this successfully yet, so I can't guarantee that this is sufficient, but I think this will be enough to give us a fighting chance at the very least. Because my intent is I'm going to just run through the tower like I did the first time we went there. And just go straight to the boss. Fighting my way up that tower with most of the stuff being highly resistant to everything I do doesn't seem like a very efficient way of going about things. Nor would it be any fun. And considering my goal is to finish the game today, I kind of need to power forward a bit. Just gonna save again once we get to the actual Tower of Storms. And I might see about making an attribute ring or two before we go in. So that's the one thing I neglected doing any of, is making more or improved attribute rings. But I don't think I have any of the right gems to make the ones I'm going to need. Because primarily I probably want more wind attribute protection. But this is, of course, a lot of assumptions being made as to what the dragon at the top of the Tower of Storms actually is doing in terms of its damage type. So I can't guarantee that what I'm going to set up is even going to work. But it can't hurt. Because it's highly unlikely to be doing like fire, water, holy, or anything like that. Well, actually, no. Holy would be my second choice for what damage type it has. It would be either holy or wind.
I shall pass. Thou submit to.
What we got available? Yeah, no, we really can't make any wind improvements at all. And these are the 3 gems that those enemies in that ruins were dropping, which is why I have so many of them. It might not be the worst idea to make a fire attribute gem, though. Just make a maximum 4 one and go with that. There's still much debate as to whether your elemental attributes affects the damage your spells do or not. In my experience, it's been such a small increase, if it is one, that it's not really relevant. But the protection definitely exists and is worthwhile. Actually, thinking about it, I'm just going to make a good one of each of these. Mostly just so I don't forget. I might still forget to equip it, but at least I'll have made it. Because I don't know what I'm getting into after the Tower of Storms is done. Like, I know the distance I have left. I have to cover in a vague sense. But I do not know what any of it actually entails. Also, I do know a consistent source of divine gems now if I really wanted to start messing with holy even more, which is how I got thunder. Because the fairies in the upper floor of the library drop divine gems like every other time. So I was just walking around up there, striking them with thunder, picking up gems. Didn't get that much out of it, because I didn't actually spend that much time doing that.
I shall pass down the knowledge of the ancients.
I was hoping they were going to drop, like, some more healing items or something, so I didn't have to go back in the ruins for them. But with the amount of fairies I killed and only got gems out of them, I'm willing to bet that they are only going to drop those. That also improves our collection. Not that I'm gonna go out of my way to complete the collection. If it wasn't random, as far as I could tell, how you got the various rings to pop up, I would actually go through and do the entire collection. But if I'm gonna be able to put in the same input and get like 6 different answers, it's not worth it to me to try to complete the collection. It would just be a huge aggravation. Now we've got an 80 attribute of each type we have available. So we can replace the Ring of Rain. The Windstone we want to keep for now because it's improving our wind attribute. Power of Seek's what gives our spells homing, but we're casting spells that don't need homing, I believe, right now. So I could put on the Ring of Gust, but I'll just replace the Ring of True Sight with Gust for now. Because I don't think we need True Sight right now. That should be good enough for now. 80 wind. Do I have any other wind stones on hand? I mean, I'm gonna keep saying stones when I mean rings and vice versa. It's just gonna be a thing that's gonna continue to happen. Don't need Wind Cutter on my listing. I could try using Guardian. And again, Wind Cutter does give me that little bit more wind attribute just by having it. Exactly. You just get used to calling something one way, and it just ends up being stuck forever. I lost count of how many times I called Ruined Souls when I was still doing Elden Ring. Which, I won't say I won't do any more Elden Ring, but I'm torn as to whether I want to keep streaming Elden Ring. I think its time's kind of over. At least for me. Nope. And at the rate I'm going, I don't know if I ever will finish it. The way I've been playing it and the way I've been building, I think I need to do an entire rebuild in order to be able to reach the end of the game. Either that or it's going to be an excessive amount of grinding to correct my mistakes, and either one's not exactly a attractive option right now. So I'll probably do what I did with one of... I think it was Dark Souls 2 when I ran into a similar problem. I just let the game sit for a while, restart it, and go through it in a much cleaner fashion. So the two builds I've been working on have gotten a lot better. I think I made enough mistakes along the way that it's just such a... Well, the thing is, I need to... Well, I don't know how much you know about the respec, but let's just say there's a certain other requirement to it that I cannot manage to complete. That is preventing that from being a viable choice. And the kind of aggravating thing about respeccing for me in that regard is the mistakes I made are really not significant in terms of how many levels the mistakes were made on. It ends up more being a matter of total efficiency of that build in general. But I did find more scrolls and such to get more sorcery options, so I may be able to just make it work once I get a hold of the rest of that. I just haven't sat down and collected all that together to figure out whether it would work or not yet. Because I also 110% burnt myself out on that game during the time I was playing it, because I was running two builds side by side and just playing way too much of it. I don't think it worked. I'm gonna guess I have to be closer for Fiery Avenger to work on him. There it goes. Okay, so Fiery Avenger does work. I don't know how much damage that actually did. Nope, Looks like lightning doesn't hit him, let alone hurt him. He doesn't seem like he's gonna be that dangerous, though, unless he starts doing something else. The biggest threat he's got, it seems like, is trying to push you off the damn platform. So if I stay in the middle, I'm fine. God damn it, he pushed me enough that I couldn't get the Fiery Avenger off. This is just gonna be a fight that takes forever, isn't it? I'm not really sure what the point of that move is. He just kind of goes up and then goes back down. No. That thing you're about to do? No. A bow, my kingdom for a bow. I wonder if it would be worthwhile to switch to having Fireball equipped and just start throwing fireballs while he's stuck there with Fiery Avenger. That might work. Might speed this up. But as it stands, this is a safe option, so I'm just gonna keep doing this. As long as he's not doing the wind press, I can basically just do this anytime I want. This feels incredibly cheesy, but at the same time, a fight like this, I don't mind cheesing, because he's gonna spend half his damn time in a place I can't hit him. No. The big worry is gonna be, how many of these is he gonna take to kill? If it takes too many, we're kind of stuck. Seem to get like 4 of these, I think, per magic crystal. Each of them hits like 3 times, but I don't know how much damage it's actually doing to him. And then there's the times where it just doesn't work. This. I genuinely don't understand what the point of that attack is. He just kind of keeps going back. He goes up and then he goes down. Hey, Spanky. This really does feel like the worst boss. This isn't even a threat. It's just an aggravation. Of course, this whole Fiery Avenger spell not working half the time, even though I'm looking at him and in range of using it on him, is kind of annoying. Like, I may have to redo this fight just by virtue of running out of mana more than him actually managing to kill me. Nope, that killed. We're good. I literally had just enough. Because if that one didn't kill, we would have been out of mana. And we would have had to throw like 7 fireballs and cross our fingers. Yeah, he really does. And the whole placing the wind key right on the edge like that thing is kind of upsetting as well. To catch you up, Spanky, on what I did to grind in between I found the hunting sword, which was in those ruins with all the animated armors, hellhounds, werewolves, etc. So that's real good. And I just kept running back and forth through those ruins, repeating all that over and over again. Got a pile of good gems, pile of levels. We now have... we now have Thunder, Fiery Avenger, Sonic, and a couple other things that I'm not currently using, because a lot of the stuff in here was immune. Now their arrows are doing significantly less damage to me, and I'm kind of confused by that. But I'm not going to worry about that. That is a detail I do not need to concern myself with right now. But yeah, the animated armors were dropping golden fruit, and the werewolves dropped magic crystals, so I was able to farm up enough of both to make this situation viable. Oh, I know why. I know why their arrows are doing less damage. They're wind-based, and I raised my wind attribute further. Right. That makes sense. You are in the way of the door I need to go through. Yep. So just imagine if I hadn't done any of that grinding at all. We would have gotten up there and just been sad. And then I would have had to go do the grinding anyway. I will say that fight has been the only time I have felt the need to grind. Everywhere else I've been able to just blitz forward and be fine based on what I got clearing the areas. That fight needed grinding.
Wait! You're human! I'm not a beast. Please, don't attack me. I was an Aldenian soldier. You know of
Hey, don't you walk closer while talking like you're gonna sneak attack me.
I'm not familiar with the emblem you're wearing. It has been a long time. The mainland is probably...
Don't get me wrong, I got lost as hell walking in a stupid loop in that first dungeon, so I ended up technically grinding, but it wasn't intentional grinding. It was, I am going in circles grinding.
I've been here, hiding since my transfer. The dragon ahead is a friend of mine. We were enemies, but realized it was foolish to fight once we become this way. Unlike the other dragon, but little by little. Then he told me he was tired. He probably couldn't bear. I don't know if this pendant has anything to do with it, but my mind is still clear.
It probably helps. Having a reminder of what you were before would help.
Like me, if you stay on this island too long, leave here as soon as you can. My mother was old when I left.
It'd be a hell of a thing if there was actually a time limit in this game. Like, you wait too long running around grinding and doing silly shit, and you just turn into a monster at some point. Whoa there, whoa there, whoa there. I'm gonna assume you guys don't resist thunder particularly. Which, I gotta say, I love this thunder spell. This thunder spell is real good. Doesn't seem like it's that great against these guys, though. Which is a bit disappointing. Okay, never mind. Does a fine job on the Harpies. Not so much on the Yetis, who seem to have way too much health. I mean, it does a little bit, but bear in mind, the Protect Ring also will protect you from the poison. So you have a much more efficient option than just using Disc Poison. I just couldn't get Protect the damn show up. But yeah, either way, you were spending magic to explore that valley. Thing is, you only have to be in that valley for, like, 2 minutes. The annoying thing is, during one of my save load grinds, I did actually manage to make Protect. And then I couldn't get it back after I did that. And according to the guide I looked up, to double check a couple things, there's a man who will straight up give you the Protect ring before you get to the valley. But somehow both you and I missed him. And I have no idea where he actually is. It wasn't very clearly described. Because apparently you encounter the hooded man twice. Once there, and then again where I showed off where he is. Wouldn't surprise me, the bastard. He's a monster now, so I'm sure he can swim. Those are the rules. Monsters can swim, we can't. Oop. Hopefully I don't end up too far behind the 8-ball again by virtue of just getting past all these Yetis and crap, because I really do not feel like fighting all this junk. These things have too damn much health. Hey, Xeno. Are you crawling in because tired, or just that's how you chose to say you're coming in? I'm sorry to hear that, Xeno. And yeah, that does seem like a real overexpenditure of space. Okay, we're back at the beginning now. Well, at the rate I'm going, you should manage to get plenty to laugh at. Things have been very odd. I will do my best. Hopefully you enjoy me running in circles and being confused. Because that's where we're at right now. Sure why all these Yetis are throwing rocks at the wall. Yep. Today is day 1 of my vacation. I'm hoping to get this game done with, and then I don't know what I'll do after that. I hadn't committed to an idea yet. I have a week. I'm not 100% sure whether I got the following Sunday off or not. I'll need to double check that when I pop by to get the upcoming schedule. How have you been doing as far as the virus goes, Spanky? I know you mentioned you had it before. Protect Ring would solve a lot of problems in today's world, yeah. Diseases? No. Magic. Suck it, viruses. I am immune. Out of mana. Fuck. No. Okay, what was the point of this area? I must have missed something over here, because there can't be this many busted up buildings and monsters for nothing. I refuse to believe that there's nothing over here. Alright, it just leads over here. Yeah, I can imagine. It does seem infinitely less entertaining than most anything else. Ah. There's a cave. Can't argue that. You've got some good logic on that one. I keep hearing people freaking out because of the whole no building enabled thing for like a week, and I'm like, you do realize Fortnite's still the same game even without building, right? You're just gonna get danced on by some kid, and you're just gonna be upset. Oh, there we go. Earth key. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually a better game without that building mechanic where people just summon a damn skyscraper upon your face. Doesn't mean it's anything I'm ever going to touch, but... Well, see, that's the funny thing. They ran out of keys, so they just kind of threw it here, I guess. Because they couldn't just give me another water key. That would just be weird. And every game's gotta have an ice level, so they had to fit it in somewhere. So... yeah, you know, I'd believe that. I would absolutely believe that. Because I'm not gonna lie, as a game designer, I would do that. I would absolutely do that. That also tracks, yeah. So I think this whole area was just for the Earth key, just to warp back to go open the Earth door. Or in the Tower of Storms. I think this whole area was just designed to upset me and give me one key and one ring. Hooray. I'm so glad I was here. I'm also so glad I didn't bother to fight all these Yetis, otherwise we would have been here like an hour. And then to find out, oh, that's all this place is for. Do you have anything else to say?
You will become like
Nope.
my mother was old.
He's just still telling me to get the fuck out before I turn into a monster. Oh, now you have something else.
Back to the mainland, my mother's grave. There must be a grave for the mother of the armies.
So what you're saying is somebody pocketed the €1 and spent the 50 on the AI.
Tell her I'm leading a peaceful life. Thank you very much.
Sure. I will tell people you became a man of peace. As a man-faced werewolf. And now we need to just try not to die while trying to reach this door. Excuse me, pardon me. Goodbye. Anything else in here? Just a teleport pad? Okay, what awful place is this gonna send me to? Please tell me not New Jersey. I don't want to go back to New Jersey. Wait, we're back here? Oh! Right, no, that makes sense. I have all the keys now. I just use all the keys in here. And that finishes the bridge. Well, we're closing in on the finale, I suppose. One of these was the Earth Pedestal. That's the water one. Of course wind and earth would be opposite. Of course. That makes sense. It really kind of does, yeah. That's why I was shocked when I looked at the list and went, oh, I'm like 2 areas away from the end. Oh. Because I thought we were at like a halfway point when we got to the magic lab. Turns out that was more like a 3/4 point. Yep, this seems safe. No broken legs or falling in between these is gonna happen. Nope, not at all. What's with ancient civilizations and very suspicious staircases? Yeah, I guess the grinding's what makes up the timer. Because when I looked it up on how long to beat, it was saying on average it was like 11.5 hours. Whereas, looking at the actual pathing, I think you can get it under 8. Oh, this is where you've been this entire time.
Thou, who carry the blood of the destroyed magic civilization.
If you knew all this, why didn't you just tell me?
I am the ancient magician, the forgotten consciousness left by the Elysians. Submit to me gems on the forgotten dais. I shall bestow upon you the last knowledge.
So you basically, what that's telling me is this is the last chance I'm gonna get to make any rings. So let's try to make another holy gem of some kind. I said it again. I fucking did it again. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna fucking scream.
I shall pass down the knowledge of the ancients.
I would totally buy that, yeah. If you literally just sprint through the game and you know a good way to deal with every boss and you know the exact setup to make for each ring, you could probably just go straight through. As I demonstrated, most of the bosses can't even hurt you. If you circle strafe, you're immune. It's really sad.
Where you are heading is the eternal cage created by our own hands. This is where the man-made God-child slumbers. The body and mind of a child, they both do grow. There is one way the young body of the child can grow, but only if given great time. But it is too late. The eternal cage will soon have time. It shall follow the laws of nature, for its job is done.
Yeah, that's what I was gathering from this.
And the world will once again be under the threat of destruction.
He literally could have sent us to the problem the entire time, and he's like, nah, fuck it. I'll let you run around this entire island like an asshole for days. You may not even survive, but if you survive, I'll send you to go fight the source of all evil.
Thou art the last one who wields the powers of magic. You must go now.
I mean, sure, you can make the excuse if he wanted you to get strong enough to deal with it. But at the same time... Fuck you. Did I save? I didn't save, did I? I'm gonna go back and save. Wait. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something just hit me on that idea. I can't go back up those stairs. You know, I hate that logic because you're right. And no, I can't... Oh, nope, these raise up. You can go back. Still really... Ugh. I don't like that gap. I don't like using save states, but because I don't trust this gap, I'm gonna just use one. I feel like I'm just gonna fall in there. But apparently it's fine. By the power of magic, it's fine. But, oh, I did not like that. I did not like that at all. Now, I'm sure people are wondering why I didn't just then use a save state down there. I want to only actually use the available saves in the game, but I also wanted to ensure I wasn't about to get cheated out of all of the time we just spent going through the Tower of Storms and everything, because there was no save in between all of that. So I middle grounded that idea for a moment. But now we've saved, now we'll go find out how bad this is going to be. First, I'm going to replace Guardian with Bless. And there's a very specific reason for having Bless. Specifically, Bless, as far as I could tell when I had it during my grinding and testing, you are immune to damage for the duration of Bless. It's the same crystal spell Layla used when we got knocked into the lava. Now, there is one problem that just hit my brain as I stepped through this portal, though. I don't have any mana.
Let's talk about this boring stuff tomorrow. Let's talk about other stuff, like the babies of seabirds.
No! Today you must listen until you understand. Here, listen. That baby bird will be gone if it dies, because you heard it, right? Won't you be sad?
There are many
Yeah.
seabirds that can be used as replacements for that baby bird.
But they're not the same baby birds. They're different ones.
I understand what you're trying to say, Lila, but so what?
He gets the logic, but not the idea behind it.
You don't need feelings. It just makes you and other people unstable. Huh? It looks like someone's here.
Really? I wonder if it's him. Listen, I'm gonna go look, but don't try to get out. I can tell because you're shaking.
Will you talk about the baby birds if I stay still?
Okay. Just sit still, okay?
Only if you let it out of the ring will it answer that question.
Okay, Lila? It's boring here. There's nothing to do.
Oh great, there's enemies here. But why not both? Oh, you are... Oh my god! I suspect those are stronger versions that are not visually any different. Cause, one, sword did not kill them. Two, that explosion hurt a lot. Well, I didn't activate Bless, to be fair. Didn't think they were a threat, so I didn't use it. And lo and behold, I was wrong. I was very wrong. My world exploded. Also, can I just say that it's kind of a dick move that they put you, like, nearly on top of the teleport to that place? Like, one misstep and you're just gonna be in there instead of where you're trying to get to, which would be over there to have the final dialogue and make any other rings. Let's see, if they explode me like that, then I probably want my Ring of Inferno. And just for sake of expedience, I'm gonna wear a Ring of Sacrifice. I've got 2 Sacrifice rings, so when the first one explodes, I can just replace it with another one.
No matter how many times I listen, it's no use.
I can't skip this either.
what I can.
Joyous day. I'm so glad this is going to just be a conversation we have to sit through over and over again.
Let's talk about other stuff, like the babies of seabirds.
No! Today you must listen until you understand. Here, listen. That baby bird will be gone if it dies.
We will know everything about baby birds by the time we're done here.
Be sad.
There are many seabirds that can be used as replacements for that baby bird.
But they're not the same. They're different.
Yeah, you know, the one gem I don't have.
I understand what you're trying to say, Lila, but so what? You don't need feelings. It just makes you and other people unstable. Huh? It looks like someone's here.
Really? I wonder if it's him. Listen, I'm gonna go look, but don't try to get out. I can tell because you're shaking.
Will you talk about the baby birds if I stay still?
I just keep looking at his design and being upset.
Hurry back, okay?
'Cause
Lila?
there's a lot.
It's boring
There's a lot to unpack with that design.
to do.
Okay, this time we're just gonna turn on Bless. The worst roll out of the gacha. Angry Space Baby. I'm safe from everything that isn't falling off a cliff. Except it wore off. Well, that's not great. That didn't last as long as I thought it was going to, because it felt like it lasted a really long time in testing. You know what? I wonder if these are the same mages But it's because the sword's part wind now that it's not killing them in one hit, because that's meeting resistance. That would make sense. Either way, running in terror because I don't want to explode again. Man, alive, they made this a gauntlet of stupid, didn't they? Maybe Layla will give me magic when I get there. If not, we may have to grind for some magic. Did I really? Yep, I got cursed as I went through the door. Great. Thanks, game. Love it. Oh, this just gets better, huh? I don't know, that sounds more like a song than a band name. It's a little long. I suppose their first song could be the name, too. Where am I going? Yep, those are spells hitting the wall. Maybe I have to kill everything for this one, because I don't see an exit. The other option is I can't see it because I can't see. I'm assuming a bridge will appear going over there or something when these are all dead. What? Oh. Duh, my own damn ring of sacrifice caused just enough confusion for me that I got killed anyway. Amazing. I was like, wait, why am I suddenly at full health and mana? Am I immune in here now? Dead. Thank you. It is convenient that I happen to look good in my favorite color. It is convenient. Oh, I can move while I'm on this. Ooh, spooky. Yeah. Given the length of that cutscene, I think I am going to accept the idea of just save stating once we get through the cutscene. So I'm assuming there's going to be another long cutscene before the fight too.
No matter how many times
I'm willing to bend my rule on that because otherwise this will in fact take multiple hours instead of just being done soon. I'm willing to bet I ain't gonna win the fight the first time either, unless I burn both rings of sacrifice specifically in the fight.
No. Today you must listen until you understand. Here. That baby bird will be gone.
I mean, that would make it go full circle. Start with crabs, end with crabs. Aha! The Elden Ring is a ring of crabs all along.
But they're not the same baby birds. They're different ones.
I understand what you're trying to say, Lila, but so what? You don't need feelings. It just makes you unstable. Someone's here.
Really? I wonder if it's him.
Let's be real. They would just give us a lame excuse like the transformative magic and turn, or like fucking honeycombs into dragon eggs or something.
Will you talk about the baby birds?
That's a horrifying idea now that I've said that out loud. The sheer amount of dragons there would be if every honeycomb became a dragon egg.
Just
There would be more dragons than bees.
Hurry back, okay, Lila?
Ugh, ah, that is too many. That is too many dragons. Some of them would have to not grow up for the world to survive. And I'm dropping frames again. Okay, looks like it evened itself out again. Something's up with the internet today. That is twice that I've had a massive frame drop. I would say I know what happened, but I don't. I don't have a paralysis cure. Hooray. This is how we die. Yeah. No, I dropped like 500 frames in that span of a second or two. It happened at the beginning of the stream too, and I don't know why. Seems like every like half hour or so it drops like 500 frames and then goes back to being fine. Might not make it on this trip. Oh wait, right, Ring of Sacrifice. I'm not gonna equip the other Ring of Sacrifice yet. I mean, yeah, conveniently that does work. And I also forgot to equip Bless this time. That's why we got through so cleanly the first time. It was a blessed run. Where's the stairs? Slow ride. Take it easy. Ah, yes. Flee. They did deploy their most powerful weapon in here, though. Thin ledges. Could have been worse. But they decided to make them twist instead. Which is almost as bad as them being, like, one and wide. Okay, now that we have mana going in here, though. This seems hardly effective. They can't be expecting me to kill all this crap. I refuse to believe that. Aha! That's because it isn't that. They just hid that one in the fog. You know, it occurs to me, with how much harder it gets to see when I cast Bless. It operates under the same logic of hiding under a blanket at night. They can't see you, so they can't hurt you. You can't see them either. So they doubly can't hurt you. Yeah. That was a move. Okay. He's literally just fucking kicking sand at me with his sword, except it's dark magic instead of sand. Damn it, Spanky. I knew I was gonna get a response like that after I said that, but I was really, really kind of hoping it wasn't gonna end up the way I expected. And here we are anyway. You got both of them. Well, I see that ended well for her.
No, child. I still.
What the hell happened to you? Why are you dead? I can't imagine that the junk in here killed her. That would make no sense. So the only assumption I can make is Solus killed her. Well, after all the conversations, why would Solus kill her? That doesn't make sense either. The only answer remaining is they decided for plot reasons she needed to die, therefore she is now dead. You got me there. Oh, right, this jerk. He's still around. I also can't believe that you killed her either. You're too much of a putz. Unless she tried to teach you about birds, too, since you have wings. Is that what happened? Did she try to teach you about birds and you killed her? Because I kind of get it. Well, this is going to be problematic. I don't think I can hit him when he's flying. So I'm going to have to burn my other Ring of Sacrifice just to win this fight. Which is going to put us in a real bad position for the final battle. Let's see if Fiery Avenger does any better. Because he's flying and throwing wind spells. He might just be really resistant to wind. The timing with when he comes out of that is really hard to get a good read on. The fact that he's surviving this much of it is upsetting. Because that makes me suspicious that he's going to survive more of these than the dragon did, which means we don't have the resources to win this area right now. Which is gonna mean more grinding. Not that I didn't suspect such things were gonna be the reality, considering how tough the Yetis were, and all of that, but I was hoping to be wrong. Because unless I can stab Solus to death, we're gonna have a problem when we get there. That is, of course, if Solus is even a fight. Okay, we did get a refill from that. That's the one good news. We did get a refill. Just in case he dropped something I can't see. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm aware that the optional dungeon has ridiculously good stuff in it, and is super hard. Doesn't look like he dropped anything. Oh boy. Out of Rings of Sacrifice. I would assume Solus will either do light or dark damage. One of the two. Or he might cycle through all the elements. Those are the three choices I can think of for the way he's gonna operate. I've really just gotta hope he actually takes real damage from the stuff I've got, or I can stab him, because we ain't getting through any other way. I am going to move the save state here. But if this proves to be too big an issue, I may revert back to grinding more healing and magic items for a little bit, and then we'll go back in here and do it again. Here we go. So apparently we're gonna have to live with a sound glitch. Oh wait, wrong door. Did too many circles. Just need somebody to try to explain to him the vegetarian way of life, and he'll just go insane and explode.
Hey you! I saw you. What did you do to Lala? I was talking to you. Then she stopped moving.
Oh, I'm gonna get blamed for this, huh?
Why? What happened to Lala?
She dead. Now you understand what death means. Okay then. I'm gonna guess Thunder's not gonna work, considering he's throwing thunder all over the room. So I'm just gonna bless up and try to stab the little stupid thing. Okay, he's too fast to try to stab. Sonic? Nope. Fiery Avenger? Ow. Ow, 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 ow. This is unpleasant. Everything in here sucks. Okay, that spell hits him. I think it hurt him? I can't tell. No, none of that. Bad child. I am going to die. I am so going to die. I genuinely can't tell if this is actually hurting him. I can, however, hit him while that's animating and do extra damage. So we might be onto something here. I also will get hit now and then by the orbs doing it that way, so I can't really push that too much. I'm going to assume Solus has an upsetting amount of health. Yeah, it does. Also, I can't help but question the logic of attacking the container that is holding this thing, considering, you know, isn't that just going to weaken the thing containing him and thus let him out? I'm just going to quickly reset to fix the bug, and now we're going to load back to where we were. Which also loads back in the bug. Great. Well, that was worth a try. I safe stated in front of the wrong door, didn't I? Yep, sure did. Okay. And I'm betting there's no way back, so we can't just have done all of this, go back, and then come back to Solus. Okay. So Fiery Avenger's the way to go. That much I can tell.
Hey you. I saw you. What did you do to Lila?
Yep, you sure saw me. Yep.
I was talking to you. Then you stopped moving. Why?
I don't think that'll work against most of his attacks, but how about I just bludgeon him with Layla? Just swing her at him. It'll give me more range. Just bat his stupid ball out of the arena. God, when it just so happens to hit me with that lightning, it really sucks. I don't even have a single golden fruit left or anything. I keep hitting it one too many times. I have to burn some of my mana just to use Earth Heal to not die. And just hope that I have enough juice to hit him with enough Fiery Avengers. I'm almost certain we don't have enough to do this. Which leaves me with two options. I either need to do the whole path in flawlessly, so I don't need any of the Rings of Sacrifice, or I need to at very least go and get a couple magic crystals, so we have the mana to win the fight. Third option, of course, is go do the optional dungeon. But I don't know how to get to the optional dungeon and get back here. I know the optional dungeon's back at the beginning. So I think I would have had to do it earlier to have that option available to me. Well, it's not even so much that it's a long trip at this point. It's as we found out when I went through that teleporter by accident, it's a physically impossible trip. After a certain point, you can't go back. I've loaded back here so we can just go back through the ruins a couple more times and get those healing items again. But it looks like I might have been on the right track thinking that Solus does holy damage, because those did look mostly like holy spells. So if I were to grind attribute rings specifically for that fight, I would want wind rings for dealing with the former captain, and I would want holy rings for dealing with Solus. So honestly, if I could just make more Rings of Sacrifice, I would straight up just fill my inventory with Rings of Sacrifice and just tell the game to go to hell. You would think, yeah. And I'm betting he doesn't actually take extra damage from anything. I'm just basing what rings to bring based on the damage type he deals. So I could have as much resistance to what he's doing as possible. But it's also possible that he has a weird damage type of his own or something, where he does, like, equal to everything. That wouldn't surprise me. I was originally going to say I'll switch to something else after we win this, but it's starting to look like this might end up actually taking long enough to be valid as a stream in and of itself. I was originally expecting it to take long enough that I was actually going to have to do 2 more streams of it, but it's looking like this will be the last one for this game. Considering, you know, we're physically at the final boss. If it takes me more than 3 hours more to beat the final boss, I will have some real bad questions to ask this game. Specifically, why did I even play it this long? I'm just going to throw it in a trash can and move on with my life if it takes that long. That means they did a real bad job designing the final area. If there's no way to get the resources you need to deal with it, if you just somehow screwed up along the way. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be pretty much in keeping with older games for that kind of situation to happen. But I'd rather not think about that. I can think of plenty of games where if you made too many mistakes through the final area, you would be in a real bad spot for the end of it. That's alright, Spanky. Thank you for being here, and have a good one. Hope you feel better soon. Oh, hey. Wait, was that a werewolf that dropped that, or was that another one of these armors that just dropped? No, these armors are the best thing ever. They drop magic crystals and golden fruit. But I killed like 30 of these things. How did I not know this before? Is the drop rate just that bad? If so, then how did I get 2 of them back? You know what? Never mind. Never mind. Ah, that's why, because the game was going to kill me for it. I forgot there was another one around that corner, so I backed into him and then got stuck. What I should have done, to not lose what was then, like, as many restoratives as I had for the tower boss, I should have just hit bless and ran for my life. But by the time I would have cycled to it, it wouldn't have mattered. Now we just gotta hope the drop rate works out again and we actually get more of those magic crystals from these. So I'm probably gonna circle around to the other side of the ruins and farm werewolves for the magic crystals if I don't get enough of them off the first few trips with these guys. And of course, gaining a few more levels will help immensely towards this process anyway. And getting my mana back, and all that. If I don't have to burn Rings of Sacrifice before I get to Solus, I'm pretty sure we can straight up just win the Solus fight without even really needing to worry. 'Cause at that point, I can more or less just tank Solus's attacks as long as I don't drop the ball entirely and die twice in quick succession, essentially. Yep, there's the frame drop again. Yeah, the frame dropping seems to be getting worse, not better. So I'm almost certainly going to just end after we finish this fight, then. I can honestly say, I think this is the first time I've been streaming where I've actually had more than one incident of frame dropping. I know that because I'm usually watching that side out of the corner of my eye to check for whether it ever changes color. Now we've had 3 today. That is worrying. You two in particular just have a magical increased drop rate from magic crystals. If so, I may need to keep coming back to this spot in particular. Yeah, because they both dropped magic crystals again. Either that or it was set in stone when I loaded the area what was going to drop what. Because we did get basically the same stuff again. Which, that's interesting. If their drop rates are set when they spawn. Which I've seen that done before. Like, they'll always drop the same thing on a particular load every time. And we're going to be buried in Phoenix and Forest Gems again. Considering both of those drop Forest Gems. Now this guy is a bit of a problem though. So I can't just thunder him to death, and I can't reach him with my sword. So I basically have to rely on either avoiding him or hitting him with the fire spell. Which, as we've established, the fire spell is a bit too expensive to be consistently used. So avoiding him ends up being the play, which is not great. But we have plenty of magic crystals, so out of spite, I'm just going to obliterate this one in particular. Or... oh, I think I know what happens now. I think it's because I wasn't looking directly at him. That's why the spell didn't trigger properly. And that's also why it wasn't hitting the dragon properly. You'll notice it doesn't even fucking kill him. And hitting the side of his arrows counts. Two. This is why I didn't bother killing these things for the most part. 3 fiery Avengers, and he's still alive. Will 4 kill him? Yes. 4 fiery Avengers just to kill one stupid flying archer. And mind you, those are a common enemy in the Tower of Storms. And now you know why I didn't deal with the tower directly. Because those things are stupid. And take just an obscene amount of damage. Considering that's like boss health bar levels of damage. If I could just go back to a shop, though, we'd be so loaded down with resources right now because of how many gems I've gotten. You'll notice, by the way, those don't come back. Or at least they take a very long time to come back. So if this one consistently drops magic crystals, we'll be in business. I'll have so many magic crystals, we can just spam. Like, I could have enough to walk through that whole area with Bless up, and then just empty a magic into Solus. This is, of course, going to have the side benefit of we're going to go up a good another, like, 3 or 4 levels, probably. And that's without me even doing this loop excessively. Okay, he doesn't always drop a magic crystal. He was just really conveniently dropping them a lot. So I think rather than going too hard on that, I'm going to make my way back, and I'm just going to clear everything along the way. Because if these both drop magic crystals, that'll give us 5 magic crystals, which isn't enough for, like, 5 mana bars, but it's enough for, like, 3, I think. And then I've got 2 more mana bars because of the Rings of Sacrifice. So I think by virtue of all of that, we should be able to pull this off. I just don't want to bore people too much by just constantly looping this area till the end of time. And honestly, I'm worried about the frame dropping getting worse further. So I'd rather finish this sooner rather than later to avoid that becoming too big an issue. Meanwhile, that one back there's just assembling and disassembling because he doesn't know what to do at the distance we're standing. Like, aha, eh, aha, eh. Bleh. I did blow a little too much mana, so I should probably gather a bit more of my MP back before going and saving and then going through the portal. Because while I do have enough golden fruit to take the weight off my magic as far as healing goes, it's not gonna be enough to guarantee anything. And now that we're actually prepared, I am 100% going to just place a save state at the start of the Solus fight for sake of not making everyone sit through those cutscenes a million times. Not that I expect to be able to lose too easily, but it'll be a good safety move in case something goes horribly wrong, like I get double tapped right as I come out of a Ring of Sacrifice heal. So I'm genuinely worried about how much health Solus has. He could straight up just have enough that I won't, even with all these magic crystals and such, I may still not have enough mana to kill him. With Fiery Avenger. Or it'll be the equally annoying situation where I was like one Fiery Avenger away from killing him before. Those are the two potentials I see in the future for this, and neither of them are good. Both of them are kind of upsetting. Another golden fruit. $226 MP. 5 magic crystals. I'm gonna walk back over to where the ones that were dropping the crystals were. That was not the move I meant to do. And there go the frames again. Sorry for all the frame dropping, I don't know what's going on with that. And I suspect that's one of those mysteries of the universe that will never be solved. Oh yeah, it's fine again now. Fair enough, Zeno. If you need to talk to somebody, you know who can always send me a message. Now, Eva. Understandable. Alright. I think I've got 7? Yeah, I've got 7 magic crystals now. That should be enough to carry us through this, hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe it will be. Okay, I would like to say I'm comfortable going to the finale again now, but I don't know if there's ever a world in which I'll be comfortable going back to that situation, but we should be able to pull through. The stairs down to it are over there. Admittedly, getting there's not that bad, apparently, based on how it went last time, but I have concerns. Here we go. First, we waste our time with one cutscene that I can't skip.
How many times I listen, it's no use. I can't understand what I can't understand. Let's talk about this boring stuff tomorrow. Let's talk about other stuff, like the babies of seabirds.
No! Today you must listen until you understand. Here, listen. That baby bird will be gone if it dies because you heard it, right? Won't you be sad?
There are many seabirds that can be used as replacements for that baby bird.
But they're not the same baby birds. They're different ones.
I understand what you're trying to say, Lila, but so what? You don't need feelings.
Yeah, that's fair.
It just makes you another
This is
people
why the whole
understand.
build your own child rather than birthing one idea doesn't necessarily work either.
It looks like someone's here.
Really? I wonder if it's him. Listen, I'm gonna go look, but don't try to get out. I can tell because you're shaking.
Will you talk about the baby birds if I stay still?
Okay. Just sit still, okay?
Hurry back, okay, Lila? It's boring here. There's nothing to do.
didn't equip Bless. I'm a fool. Ow. Bless isn't gonna charge fast enough. Fog of War. Can't see where I'm going. I know I can run past them reasonably safely, but just in case any shots manage to skirt around and hit me from behind, I'm making sure to avoid that. If it ends up being that I spent too much mana doing that, well, so be it. Figure something out. Do I have a Ring of Sacrifice equipped right now? No. Okay, good. So I don't want to accidentally burn one before we get to the finale. I would like to have both of those for the Solus fight. Considering I'm blatantly going to need all the help I can get. Somewhere over here was the stairs. There we go. The stick is being extra fidgety today, and I don't know if that's because my hands are twitching, or if it's because of when it got unplugged, whether the dead zones freaked out a bit. It seems particularly sensitive today. There's the way. There's the way. Pardon me, sir. We're gonna have one more cutscene after this fight coming up here. Then I'll drop the save state. Well, that's the thing, is I didn't change any settings. I have used this for 4 sessions now, and only in this 4th session has it been this finicky and sensitive. So something had to have gone wrong when I unplugged it last night. It got physically disconnected. Because I ended up dropping it, caught the wire, which ended up, of course, popping it out of the controller. I then reconnected it. It didn't land on the sticks, so I don't think the sticks themselves got damaged by the drop. I think something just ended up freaking out as a result of the sudden disconnect. This controller is very rarely not plugged in, even though it is a wireless controller. Just because I don't feel like dealing with the idea of the battery potentially just dying on me. Because it has happened to me before, that I'm in the middle of something and the battery just went, you know what, we're done. Yep, there's the dead Layla.
No, child, I still...
For all that powerful magic, still dead. We're not even at the actual fight yet, but this is still going to be a bit of a problem, so I'll use 2 of my magic crystals here. I should have rotated over to Fiery Avenger beforehand. Ah, well. Wait, I did rotate to Fiery Avenger. I'm an idiot. There we go. Now I'm in a position where I can start rotating around him. Do 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 do. You're a sucker, just like you were back in the iron mine. Do do do. I don't need to walk around in circles. Walk around in circles. Hopefully I have enough mana to kill him. So I'd really rather not expend even more resources on this fight, but I think I'm gonna have to. But I won't until I actually am out. Basically, if this doesn't kill. And it didn't. Okay. Because the thing is, it is gonna restore us a bit after this fight. So I was intending to be maximum efficiency here, but didn't quite work out that way. And watch, this is going to be the kill shot. No, it wasn't. Okay. That would have been even more upsetting. Would you be so kind as to die? And even asking nicely doesn't work. Well, I'm at absolute 0 now. Die? God damn it. You, sir, are the most tedious of creatures. Am I really gonna burn all of the magic crystals killing this guy? That's gonna be really annoying. Nope, there it is. Okay, and it's not even a full restore, it's a partial restore. Okay. And it makes us look down there like there's an item there, but there isn't. Okay. Now, in the interest of everyone's sanity, and including mine, save state. Actually, I should put one on the other side of this door where the cutscene is ending. Otherwise, we'll be dealing with the what happened to Layla cutscene a million times.
Hey you! I saw you. What did you do to Lila?
If you saw me, you know I didn't do it, you stupid child.
Talking to you. Then she stopped moving. Why? What happened to Lila?
Unless you mean when she was laying there already dying.
Yeah.
Angry space baby. This is a better save state point. Yeah, it really can be. We're just gonna have to give this child a first-hand lesson in what death is. So can I just say that it's pretty sad that 90% of his attacks are also dodged by circle strafing, just like everything else in this game? It's kind of sad. But the only thing he can do to hit me will be when that random lightning goes off, and it just happens to be where I'm going. I was initially going to fight him fair, but he doesn't fight fair, so why should I? Oh, I can hurt his orbs. Interesting. If he wasn't flashing red when these hit him, I would think I had to hit the orbs, but considering he flashes red, I assume he'll die. Though I fully admit that this is kind of a bullshit spell, considering it stops the enemy in place until the spell finishes. The only thing that makes it fair is the fact that it takes a real long time for it to recharge. Oop, he got me with a paralysis shot. That's not good. That's very not good. The hard counter to my nonsense. Now I'm slow enough that most things are going to hit me. That said, this is pretty much the perfect time for one of my rings of sacrifice to come in handy. One thing I'm admittedly a little worried about is whether he might have a second form. Is with how much damage this is appearing to take, a second form is going to be a real problem, because I might not have the resources for another on top of that. But since I fought a boss level enemy on my way in here, I would assume that they wouldn't go so bad as to have him have a second form. But given the way a lot of things with this game have been, I would not be surprised. I could do this fight in a much more exciting way, probably. But I'd rather not lose to RNG. You understand now, small child? That would be what I would honestly expect.
The god's child stopped moving. The eternal cage will soon fall.
But I suspect this is over.
Here, you may return to where time exists. Your job here is done.
Unless Eternal Old Man is true final boss. The way it stopped and stared at him, I really thought something was actually going to happen. Oh, wait, he's not dead. This might not be over.
I can't move. This has never happened to me before.
And now you know what injuries are.
Lila, I know I can ask Lila.
Lila's dead, stupid.
Lila.
Like, I know that's meant to be sad, but I can't take that thing seriously.
Lila.
That's not where she was That
Lila.
is not where she was laying dead before. They moved the body for plot convenience.
Lila, you're not moving. Please wake up now.
You know, if you're some kind of all-powerful little god creation child, why don't you bring her back to life?
Come on, Lila. How long have you been lying there? I got out all by myself. Will you tell me about the baby birds? Oh, I get it. I'm outside now. Let's go see them together. Are you mad? Are you mad at me?
I mean, she did tell you not to go out.
Lila? Come on, Lila. Lila. Hey, Lila, please get up. Lila, please talk to me. Please, Lila. This feeling. Ah. I get it. This is
Yep, that's a problem. That's a real big problem. He's learned what death is, and he doesn't like it. He's a lot bigger now. But apparently that's it. I'm going to assume that was meant to be a sequel hook. That never happened.
Of the unusual changes on the island of no return, asked Kane what he had seen or heard. Kane, unfortunately, could only report that the research team, including its leader Daryl, had been annihilated. The death of Daryl, who was also the leader of the Knights,
Best not to
stirred
tell
controversy
the
throughout
king about all this, yeah.
It was the opinion of many that the elders should take responsibility for his death. And through this wave of popular sentiment, the people who were loyal to King Ian were able to regain a great measure of strength. Eventually, Hungarian rule was returned to the king. Once things had settled down, Kane Morgan departed for an unknown destination. But a few years later, he returned to Hungaria, accompanied by a man of unknown identity. King Ian welcomed Kane's return, honoring him with a new position as head of his retinue. And as Kane requested, the king treated the man of
Brought
unknown identity as one of his
Solus
subjects.
here.
Kane and the man remained loyal to King Ian, and the ruler's name is now recorded in history as that of a skillful and compassionate leader.
So that
The
seems
man
like a
who had
really
arrived in
risky
Hungary with
idea.
Kane left following the death of King Ian, but it is said that time itself, not even the passing of decades, could change his appearance.
But that's Eternal Ring done. That is a lot less of a game than I always thought it was. That is... I probably should have left this behind, but at least it's done now. It had a really good idea. And the things people said about it probably having been rushed in order to be a launch title makes sense. And where was all this cool shit that's being shown here? Where was all this? Oh, those must have been the highest level spells probably were the various dragons. And thank you for the congratulations. So I know there was a pile of special rings you could get if you had all the right stuff for it. But that is another game done and dusted. I can certainly say I'm not coming back to this one ever again. That once is enough on that one. That game is done now. I 100% disagree with everything I saw on like how long to beat and such about it taking like 11 hours to beat that game. Aside from grinding, you can absolutely just clear that in like 4 hours maybe. Considering how easy it is to break everything over your knee just by running in circles. Now the question is, do I want to transition into something else, or do I want to make this a clean break? It's only been 2 hours. But at the same time, I don't have an immediate on-hand idea. So I think I will just go ahead and have this be a clean cut. Especially with the frame dropping that's been happening. It's a bit suspicious. Anytime. Thank you all for being here. Let me see where I can send everybody. If I'm going to even send everybody off today, because I might just let it be on this one, because Brain is very upset. Yeah, no, I think I'll just let this one go. I might do another one later or on in the day. I might not. We'll see how that goes. I do have a couple things planned for the next ones coming up, but I'm not going to spoil that surprise yet. Especially considering I have to make sure that those things work first. I'd rather not announce something and then have it break. So thank you all for your patience and have a good one.